We're going to get a little dirty here on Pero Let Me Tell You.
Ooh.
Me pasó lo mismo than Two Girls in a Cup. I read so...
Okay,
do you know
what?
Do you know where my curiosity about Two Girls in a Cup
That was
came?
definitely not God's
Do you know
country.
my... I mean, this show, we could say... We could curse on Pero Let Me Tell You.
Yes, that is the right reaction.
Okay, do you know where my curiosity from Two Girls in a Cup came?
Family Guy?
From Family Guy. From Stewie watching it. That was like, what is this? And then when I saw it on Family Guy with Stewie watching it, I looked up people's reactions
Because that
online.
was what the thing was.
I looked at people's reactions because that's what went viral. So I was like hours looking at people's reaction. I'm like, I'm not gonna watch this shit. That's wrong.
No, that's
wrong
the right.
choice
No,
of
it's the
words.
right choice of word.
It is. I'm not gonna watch this. And I was reading about it and I was watching all these people's reactions. And then when I finally saw it, I was like, first of all, this is fake. And second of all, this is stupid. Like,
Right.
so the same thing happened to me with Morgan Wallace.
Oh, Wallen.
That when I saw him walking off stage, I'm like, he walked off stage. Like, well,
Right, like maybe he had diarrhea.
Maybe he didn't know that he had to hang out there. I mean, who knows? Like, who knows, right? But, it's like making a big deal out of nothing.
Which is what we do nowadays,
A bit like this outrage. Like, where's the outrage? Like, he just walked off stage. Like, I wouldn't have thought about it twice.
But again, it was force-fed into all of our feeds and all that.
As far as,
Are those your only two questions?
the God's country thing that he put on Instagram after, I don't know, like maybe he was going to church the next day. I don't know. Like there's so much with that whole controversy. There's so much like speculation,
Right.
that it's like, okay, let's completely build this narrative
Right.
about this,
Right,
which
right.
we don't really know either.
Or
Like,
care.
I
It's
mean-
like when Lena Dunham had that whole moment, in her head when she sat down next to that basketball player at that charity function thing.
what?
Okay, we talked about this.
Oh, is that when she said that he was looking at her or whatever?
Right, that she was sitting next to like some athlete and she was like, I know he's thinking that I'm this. And you know what? Brr. And like afterwards he was like, I don't even know who you are. Like I have nothing to talk about here with this,
Junior, did you know who Morgan Wallace was?
Wallen. Oh God, Junior's joking.
Yes.
Don't choke, Junior.
What does he sing? What does he sing that I should know?
I couldn't tell you.
I know he made a song with a rapper that I think it was called like Broadway Girls,
Okay.
based on Broadway in Nashville. But that's it. I know he got in trouble before.
Yeah, he had some type of kerfuffle. I don't remember what it was about, but yeah.
I think he got caught on tape like saying slurs or something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's
I did read that. I did read that.
He's a
I think
pip.
it was
He's a pip.
around an SNL time too, but
Yeah. He's a
I
real
don't really
pip
know
of a
too
human
much.
being. Yeah.
You know why? Because I like to think I stay relevant insofar that I know things that are going on in the pop culture.
At least a passing
sphere.
knowledge. Yeah.
And I hadn't heard of this gentleman. I was like, who walked off of the SNL stage? And why do I care?
Darian was like, why was Morgan Freeman at SNL? Like, I don't understand.
I mean, Morgan Freeman is the voice of God. So, I mean.
That's true. He can walk off the stage when he likes.
So, I mean, whatever. Turn it into an opportunity, bro.
Yeah, But
what is a
100%.
t-shirt of?
I think it's literally just, I'm sure it's an American flag. And it says, I'm going back to God's country or something like that, which is just like, I mean, the only way that America is God's country is if you're a Mormon and you believe in the whole myth of Robert Smith.
I'm going to...
Joseph, thank you. Robert Smith is the cure. Joseph, which has his own myth, really, if we're going to go that route. Joseph Smith, who basically said that, like, Jesus was here in the U.S. when it was created about 100 years ago.
Our listeners will not see this, but our viewers will. Read what I put there.
Oh, 1,000%.
For sure.
Oh, 1,000%.
I don't even know who he is, and just based on what you told me, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
I'm 1,000%.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But we love everybody here on Pero Let Me Tell You.
Everybody. But yeah. I don't love everybody. I just don't wish ill upon everybody, but I don't love everybody.
So now that I'm thinking about this,
About God's country?
no.
Mormonism?
No. So it's something
Cure?
it's something a little tragic. So spring break is over. I think we got off well in spring break this year.
No, I didn't hear anything crazy.
No. But so that was good for a spring break week. But then we had Ultra.
Which was, I went to an
Last
event.
week.
It was fun.
And apparently there were some people who drowned because they jumped in the river.
Oh, so I saw something about that, but I didn't know exactly what happened. Like, I don't know if it's that they jumped in the river.
There was
fell in the
apparently a
river.
dare that they jumped into the river, and I'm
Off the
pretty
Miami
sure,
River, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure one or two of them drowned.
I know there was 2 people missing. I didn't hear anything after
Yeah,
that.
and they found a body floating in the Miami River yesterday. And it's like, as a parent, these are the things now that I worry about my child eventually doing stupid stuff like that.
Okay, Jason Seaver, but that can happen to anybody.
Jump into the river?
Look, anybody can jump in or fall or get, pushed.
What do you think is a stupid... Okay. When you look at your 20-year-old self now,
Okay.
what do you think is the stupidest thing you did in like your youth? And when I mean youth, I mean in like your
Early 20s, mid.
late teens, early 20s. I know what I did. That was stupid.
I'm trying to think. Probably the single stupidest thing I did was, and again, this is there's a lot to choose from. But that just pops into my head was just like when a friend of mine literally came up to me at the club, popped an ecstasy pill in my mouth, and I had just bought an apple martini, and I was like, well, this thing was $20. So I just downed it with that instead of like, getting water.
Okay, well, I didn't think we were going to go the illegal drug use route on this.
Well, you said something stupid. I mean, like...
Okay, wait. Repeat that story again?
Okay, so I was working at Carnival at the time, and a friend of mine who also worked at Carnival, we ran into each other at the club at Coliseum, and he just came up to me. I was like, "Hey, what's up?" He's like, "Hey," boop, and he just put like a pill in my mouth, and I was like, "Okay."
You just let people put pills in your mouth?
That's not the worst thing I've let people put in my mouth. And so then I just bought a sour apple martini, which because it was the early 2000s, that's what we were drinking, and it was like $20, and I was like, well, fuck that, this is expensive. Again, I'm in my early 20s, I'm not making money, so I wasn't gonna throw it out. So I downed it, and had a night that I'm sure was fun, and I don't really remember.
Wow. I did not expect this conversation to go that way. I was going to say that the stupidest thing I did in my early 20s was that I wasn't really into car culture and I was into racing big time.
Okay, but that's illegal too.
Yeah, that was illegal. I lost control of my car on a one-way street going to the Keys at 145 miles an hour. That's where I was going with that I was really stupid. I used to race people. I thought I was dumb in the Fast and the Furious.
Because that was, and you are about family. So like, yes.
Because I would have been Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
That's where I was sort of going with that.
But let's break it down. We were both doing things that were illegal, and that could have resulted in death.
That is true.
Very different routes, but same result.
Knowing who we are today, that is very consistent with who we are.
Yeah. It would have been great if it would have been the other way around, right? If I would have been like this one day I was drag racing, and I just peeled out on Biscayne Boulevard and almost took out a family of 4.
That's not funny.
Well, it's funny because I didn't do it.